Blessings and greetings, my angels. Happy weekend to many of you and to all of you here at Sacred Sagittarius Angels Answers All. I thank you for coming to watch the channel. I like to dedicate this weekend general reading to a fellow YouTuber that is no longer with us. I just learned this week. He was a gentleman, a very young gentleman at that, so my heart is broken for his loss because he was a family person. He had children. His channel was called Swimming in the Void, if you're not familiar with it. I mean, if you aren't familiar with it, maybe you might want to stop by. Maybe you might have seen his channel and not recognized his name. So we learned that he passed on. So I want to dedicate this video to him, to his energies, for all that he tried to do to bring love and light to the world. May he rest in peace. May he be in peace. And may he know that we are grateful for the time that, for those of us that came across his channel, appreciated his efforts. And I pray that he is now in eternal rest. Okay, cards have been blessed and prayed for. This is your general weekend reading. This is your final weekend reading for the month of May. Wow, right? The months are just going by. So it's very important as we live our life to appreciate each day and to appreciate each other. Archangel Michael, continue to fight our battles and protect us from the snares of evil and unnecessary aggravation and unwanted thoughts. Heavenly Father and angels and guides, be with me, the cross watchers, and the fellow Sagittariuses and subscribers to this channel. Guide us through these messages in which you want us to know, and that which is not to be known at this time will not be known. Okay, we're going to start time-stamped, starting this reading exactly at 2 minutes. I will be doing subscriber card pulls this weekend for any of you who have or will comment during the course of the weekend. So we're starting out the weekend. Some of you, some energy coming in. Energy coming in to hopefully give you stability or give you insight in a particular situation that you are going through. This energy coming in towards you this weekend, Sagittarius. It could be the start of a new career, a new idea. This could be, if you just started a new class, this could be a new student that you have met and you're going to be collaborating together, or you two together might be assigned a new project. This also could be if you have children or grandchildren. They're rushing in. They're coming in to see you maybe for the Memorial Day weekend, bringing all their youth and energy towards you, keeping you kind of busy. As we continue with the wand energy, which is our energy, the fire, the creativity, I can see and feel a lot of you doing a lot of creative things this weekend. The weather in certain part of the states isn't going to be that great to maybe do beach and outdoor activities, but there are a lot of indoor activities that you can do that definitely you can create within your own little circle or with your children or grandchildren or whoever it is that you're going to be celebrating this weekend with. For some of you, as you go out and about this weekend, you could be going out and about with a new love or a new love interest, or you might just meet someone and start a conversation, and before you know it, maybe down the line, this could be a new partner. So a lot of new things aspiring into your life, new projects, new romances. For some of you, this could be the weekend where you finally get an answer from an interview, right? Or you post on your LinkedIn or wherever you go for your job sites and stuff like that, and you might get some callbacks. So a lot of good positive activity this weekend. So even creating and working on your resume and updating it is something that the angels and the universe definitely will back you up on. Everything is looking positive this weekend with the sun, even though we might not have a sunny disposition as far as the climate this weekend in some parts of the world. people for the most part have a good sense of spirit. They have a good positive energy. They're looking forward to moving away from negative situations and welcoming the good, seeing the good, having material success and happiness, and having a joyous outcome through all the things that you go through in life. For many of you, this also is a sign that you are kind of being more stable in your choices and your selections, especially when it comes to your finances. We're being more mindful of how and when or why we spend our money with the Four of Pentacles. Others of you, it's building that earthly foundation in your creativity, in your home, right? Setting certain standards, making sure that boundaries are in place. The Four of Pentacles is always the desire for long-term security, saving today to have for tomorrow type of thing. Fear of change. So some of you, sometimes when we're fear of change or fear of loss, we will hold on and hoard. People who tend to have a lot of things they're afraid of not having. Like, let's say, for example, when you were growing up, your family isn't that well to do, and now as an adult, you're prosperous. In your mind, you always feel that sense of lack, or you feel the fear of not having, like maybe what you experienced in your childhood. So you tend to hold on to your money. You tend to hold on and have a lot of ownership to the things that you hold dear, even when you have more than what you need. Those type of dependencies go back to, again, your reminiscences of when you didn't have, and the fear of not having again. Because we know the cycles of life, things do come full circle. What can come up can go back down, and vice versa. And middle of the deck, this energy for us this weekend, we get the moon. So a lot of things going on behind the scenes, as it always is in our life, that we're not aware of. So that's another reason why we should not be too skeptical, but hold optimism, because just because things might look one way in the physical, spiritually, it could be having a whole different outcome. There could be also unforeseen problems coming into your life that you need to be ready for. So it's always good to make sure that your finances, your life, and that just your whole disposition is in order. There could be changes coming unbeknownst to you in your career and your love life. So always have an open heart to relate to the challenges that come into your life, especially the unexpected. Let's clarify the moon energy. What could be going on behind the scenes that we need to be aware of that we're not seeing? Well, yeah, for some of you, there's going to be some heartache, some type of stress, worries, lack of sleep, anxiety over a particular situation or person. Let's clarify that some more. It could be that you're in a situation, whether it's in your home, your job, your career, or your relationship, or you might just feel the energies of the world and everything that's going on in it, that you are not able to express yourself or live your life fully, or doors that usually would be open to you are now closed. A lot of opportunities have, dried up, so to speak, or they're not going in your direction. And when we feel that we have less, again, that fear, right, of having less, not being able to create, not being able to gather, not being able to manifest, you feel like you're gagged. You feel like you're being held in a position, right? So that fear will lead to the stress, to the lack of sleep, because you're worrying like, how am I going to make this money? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? How am I going to provide for that? So that all contributes, that lack of fear, or the lack of strength in your ability to deal with fear and loss and not knowing what is to be expected, all will lead to the insecurities of you having stress, lead to you not having rest, right? So we want to try to be a step ahead as far as we can in many situations in our life, knowing that yes, we're always going to get a curveball somewhere in the picture, even amongst the sun. Even amongst the good things that happen in our life, there are the things that come out from the mundane that we just have no control over. Let's get one more card from the tarot before we go on to the further messages. We close out with the Tower. Yeah, definitely there's going to be some changes. Some relationships, some partnerships, job security. things that you experience in life, things that you are used to, that you're accompanied to, even if you're trying to hold on to them to dear life, if the foundation is not strong, or if it's just meant for you in your life at this particular time for a change to occur, it's going to occur. You're going to come out of it okay, but the change is going to occur. So even if you're not expecting it, always expect the unexpected. I think that's a safe thing to say when it comes to life. Let's get an affirmation so we can bring some positivity to our day and weekend. The first one we get is, I am willing and able to say no. Being able to say no to others, and especially to ourselves, sometimes is challenging, but being able to say no is healthy. It can save you a lot of heartache. It can save you unnecessary expense, right? Delays, drama. Learn when to say no, when intuitively you know you should not be saying yes to a particular situation. Find your inner voice and say no. The second affirmation that we get for this weekend is, I live a natural and wholesome life. If you live a life pure of love and peace, and you bring that and you try to return that back to the world and to those that you come across, and a wholesome life, again, you're doing things from a good place with good intention. Don't be, down on yourself when things don't work out. Don't be down on yourself when the rest of the world is acting kind of toxic and crazy. We can only be responsible for our actions. And if each of us individually live a natural and wholesome life, then if it all comes together collectively, we can do the same. So I love those affirmations for the weekend. Let's get some messages from our ancestors and our angel guides. In particular, this weekend we get, when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I am right there in your heart. So your angels and your ancestors, and especially for those of you, if you've lost someone dear to you recently, they want you to know that when tomorrow starts without them, that first day when you wake up and you really come to terms that they're gone, don't think how far apart they are. Don't think of the sadness that they're no longer physically here with you. Because every time you think of them, just the thought of them, they will be right here with you in spirit. We also get, I wish that I could tell you all the wonderful things that the universe has planned for you. So even though we get the moon card where we don't see and we can't feel what is going to happen next along our journey, those in the spirit world, those of our angels and ancestors that have gone on before us, they have the knowledge and they can see our life plan and what is going to happen to us in the future. And there's a lot of great stuff. And they wish they could share it with us, especially when we're going through what we're going through, many of us in the world right now. They want to be able to lift up our spirits and say, hey, don't worry, hang in there. There's going to be brighter days. But they can't, but they wish they could. One thing is for certain, though their life is on the earthly plane, they are closer to you now more than ever. This is for some of you who might have survivor's guilt, survivor's remorse, someone who passed away and you felt like maybe they were younger than you, you're older, you should have gone before them, or you just felt like someone's life was taken too soon, or you felt like, you didn't spend enough time with them. You feel guilty. Sometimes we have that unfinished business with relatives or friends, that we feel like we just didn't do enough, or we didn't get to say everything that we wanted to say, especially if they pass on and you weren't on good terms. It kind of hurts even more. They want you to know that even though you didn't physically, on this earthly plane, be able to settle that with them or to be with them in the way that you wanted to be, they understand that, they accept it. But now they are closer to you than they ever could have been while here on earth. So it's just about calling their name, saying their name in a prayer, saying their name in your daily conversations, just reminiscing and thinking about them. Just that simple thought will bring and keep their energy with you. And then finally we get, please do not be unhappy just because I'm not and will not be in your sight physically any longer. Please remember that we are with you every morning, noon, and night. And what a beautiful remembrance, a beautiful energy and thought to carry with us, not only for the weekend, but in general, that we have so many ancestors, we have so many people, friends, family, that we've come in contact through our lifetime that have gone on, but they are all up there collectively rooting for us, plugging away. They are the footsteps in the dark that carries us through. So during the dark times in our life, when we're crying, when we feel stressed out, when we feel the world is against us, or we have too much on our plate, or there's certain doors that are blocked and opportunities that are no longer available, try not to get so much into the sorrow and in the unhappiness. Know that you're not alone. Know that they are not out of sight. They are there with the thought of them in your heart, with the belief of them in your spirit. They are with you every single time and moment of the day. So we thank our angels, we thank our guides, and we thank our ancestors for being that strong anchor for us, especially in these times for many of us when we go through uncertainty and we might feel that we're alone. So blessings on to them. The moon energy for this weekend, as we continue with moon activity, we have confidence is your key to success. Anything that you want to strive to do, even in challenging times, keep your confidence high. Keep your energy and your vibration high. Your commitment is being tested in a lot of things in life, but you need to forge forward, and having confidence is one. Remember that you are good enough, despite the naysayers and whatever people might try to say against you and your abilities. You know better than that. And then finally, some adjustments are required in order for you to go through certain things in life or to manifest certain things in life. So be mindful of how you navigate and how you think through and how you act and present yourself in certain situations. Before we come to a close, we get the message of Sagittarius, when you continue to reminisce, replay, or hold on, hold on to. Okay, let's start this over. When you continue to reminisce, replay, or hold on to what could have been, you continue to hold yourself in a place of resistance. Let what was inspire a new way of living, but don't allow it to limit and determine what can be. That means stop living in the past. Just because you did something wrong in the past, or you made a bad judgment call, you went down the wrong side of the road, you picked the wrong partner, doesn't mean that it's doom and gloom forever. There is room for correction. There is room for growth and understanding. Don't continue to replay the past in your head. Yes, replay it for that maybe 1 or 2 times to get the lesson, but then you have to move forward. Stop dwelling on what was and go forward with what is and what can be. We are always speaking to you and sending you messages. This is your angel guides and your ancestors. We feel like you're alone in a particular situation right now, and we just want you to know that you never truly are alone. We are reminding you to stop, look around, and believe in something else, something more than yourself. We've got your back. So another confirmation this weekend, I really feel the energy is very heavy in the world right now, and the ancestors see a lot of things that are being done that they've lived through, and they feel like we are going through this again. So they know the stress of what we're going through, and they're here telling us you are not alone. We are going to march you into victory just as we marched into victory. You soon will be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way it did, for you to receive a better and greater life. It's all adding up in your favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you. So I love that we get also the reminder from the angels. Again, just like with the moon energy, it doesn't show us everything that we need to know. There's a lot of things going on and happening, in the future and even in the present that we're not equipped to handle or can know right now. Even with all of that, be grateful, because some of these surprises are going to be like the chef's kiss on our life. We will receive better. We will be greater. Things are adding up in our favor, even though it might not seem like it. What's going on behind the scenes is greater than what we are going through. So we, again, thank the universe and the angels and the guides for that beautiful message. Okay, let's pick this middle deck here. Understand karmic returns. What you send out into the universe, Sagittarius, always comes back. Be mindful of your energy. A reminder, like how we started the reading, to do good, to be great, to be fabulous, even though the people around you or others might be trying to throw dirt your way or they're acting all nasty and evil. You can't account for their karma, but you do have to account for your own. So understand what you do in this life does and will come back to you, just like what they do will come back to them. So what you send out in the universe does come back to you. Always, always be mindful of your energy. Okay, and as we come to a close, let's go here. Something that you want, something that you desire, or within a few weeks or a few short months, the change that you want to see in your life is going to be coming. The universe wants you to look for a sign. And when you see that sign, that will be the moment in when you should start taking action. And we end, always remember to try to do things in a way that you have a peaceful resolution. No one wins by fighting. If we can all come peacefully together and try to learn to love and understand each other, or even learn to be friendly and learn to agree to disagree, the peaceful resolution will help us all. May you have a blessed weekend. May you enjoy the Memorial Weekend. We celebrate all those who've been in service, those who represent what true freedom means to everyone in God's universe. Keep your head up. Be proud. Be brave. Live your truth, Sagittarius. Remember, be good. Be good to yourself, but be even better to others, because that karmic energy of what you do does come back to you is very true and sincere. This is Sacred Sagittarius, Angels Answers All. I'm Tigra, bidding you farewell. Please share, like, and comment. I'm not monetized. I do not get any monetary gain from this. What I do get is spiritual blessings and your thanks, hopefully. It doesn't cost you anything to share, like, or comment. And I do free readings, sometimes very briefly, for those of you who comment. So thank you again, and God bless.